I thought we would get together tonight and have a pretty easy video. I was wrong. So I'm looking at doing the McAllister's front bumper set for my SC6.4 to get this modified body that you saw in the pictures on Facebook, mount it. There's only one problem. This is a wonderful looking set. Very thick plastics. It has, lots of carbon fiber parts. It's nice, but it's missing something very important: instructions. This product has detailed pictures or video installation instructions. Search your product name or number on McAllisterRacing.com for instructions. Video will be the last image. I did that. This is what I got. Image coming soon. There's my part number. There's my price. But there's no pictures. So a fella's got to figure out how to get this without being sitting on boxes to get the look to just sit there. Yep. 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 Now the thing is, this all started with me doing one thing. All I wanted to do was get the stock front bumper off and get this one put on. That's all I was going to do tonight, just to get it prepped and ready so then we could go from there. But even that became an issue. And I was like, I need instructions for this. So I put that on. And I'll tell you what I did. And then we're going to figure out the rest together. So you do have to use the stock bumper, because if you notice, your hinge pin braces for the front to keep your hinge pins in place, well, they're part of the bumper. So you have to cut off the stock bumper to make it work. Then these two screws, because on the SC6.4 the two back ones have to stay in the bulkhead because of the way that it's designed, and then the two front ones are what hold your bumper. Well, these two front screws, because you're adding another 3mm thickness to the mounting ability, you have to get a longer screw. Thankfully I did have two screws that were 4mm longer to put in here to counteract for that extra thickness, and it works just fine. As you can see, that works just fine on there. You've got a nice carbon fiber wrap on there, so it makes it look like the plastic's not plastic. There is carbon fiber parts in this. The mid decking, this front piece that I'm not exactly sure what it is just yet, we're going to find that out, and some of the other parts are in fact carbon fiber. I think I know what one of these pieces is, but I'm also not 100% sure. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting job here to try to figure it out. I think this mounts to one of these pieces, and I think this is supposed to go through the front shock tower, if I do believe so. If it does, it's on the lower holes that have these the guards on the front, so those might have to be cut down too. I might need a bigger knife than an X-Acto. Yeah. Because that's the protection guards for the, so yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna figure this out together here. So let's put on a bumper for a modified body, shall we? And a mid-mounting. Oh yeah. It comes with this rear deck lid piece too, but it's the same one that goes on the ready-to-run transmission. That's a rear motor transmission. There's nowhere to mount this flat on the back. So this is literally just pointless carbon fiber that is in here. I don't know that I can actually use it. Thankfully, on the 6.4, the body posts are back away anyway, so I think we can use these factory ones and still be okay. But let's flip around and see if we can figure this out together, shall we? Okay. All right, so here's what we know so far. We know we have a front bumper. We know we had to cut our factory front bumper and add to it. We also know that this mounts on here, and that these mount on here for the side post hole thingies. And then we know that these that have little holes in them get screwed into here at some height, and then these pins go through them. So we know that these parts are parts that we're using. I don't know what these are for. I'm gonna find that out too. I don't know what no, these are probably for that, but these are, get stainless hardware, so be very careful. I'm probably not going to use the Ugga Dugga at all for this, actually, because that's just tricky, you see, because stainless strips. Let's look and see what I have in here. Also, if you haven't seen this yet, this is the new J Concepts parts bin. They have it listed as the most expensive mold they've ever produced. This thing is actually really awesome. You think it's just a normal hardware bin until you realize that there's screws in the bottom. And yes, I just flipped that over. Most of the time when you flip it over, oh, there goes all your hard work. Not on these. These are actually pretty awesome. These have the 12 dividers in them that not only go into the lid, like on some, where they actually have the little lid dividers, but they're curled at the bottom. I don't know if you can kind of see that there. They're curled at the bottom. And then since they screw down, nothing can get mixed up. So I've got my countersunks in one and my button heads in another, and I'm actually going to probably pick another one of these up, maybe even two of them, and actually have all my hardware separated by size, because these are fantastic. They fit in the small drawers of the pit bag over here. These are well worth the money. Just get these and be happy later in life. So we're going to go through our countersunks here and then our button heads, and we're going to see if we can replace some of these hardwares that they have. Don't have enough to replace what they have here. Well, sad day. All right, we're going to use the stainless J Concepts hardware bins, the new ones that just came out. They're awesome. All right, so I know that goes on there. This looks to be the same width as this, which it is. So I might have to do it like that. That's going to go through like so. I'm going to put a couple nuts on here. I'm guessing these are 5.5. Oh, they're 5. It seemed awfully. No, they're not 5. 5.5, just a little wobbly. I bet these are actually standard hardware. I really hope they're not standard hardware. Please be metric. Because I don't have SAE drivers. I don't think anybody has SAE drivers anymore. But that's got some wobble in it. Those are definitely got to be standard. I bet those are 5/32, which is why the 2 fits, but it's a little loose. All right, so that's there. Something tells me that this mounts here. Well, would you look at that? Would you just look at that? It's accurate. It does mount there. And I'm actually going to put it over top of these. Because I want these to stay. How much room do I have to play with on those? All right, so there's enough room to go through here. Okay. All right, so our inner hinge pin hole is basically useless now, or ball stud hole, I mean, because those are, yep, pretty tight. So then we're gonna pinch this together. I'm assuming so. Put that in the bottom or the top. Is there another one of these bumpers on here that maybe has a picture I can see? It's like this goes on le bottom. Okay, so not up here. It goes under here. I guess that would make sense because it would give it a, yeah. So because of that, we can go ahead and guess use these button heads here. These have a different color. I wonder if these are, I don't know. Would think they're titanium. They give you these 4 countersunks, and I think they want you to use them on the back here, but you got to use the long ones because these are the whole bulkhead and everything pinches together with those screws, so there's no way to, you know, fit that in there. All right, we'll just crank these down. Like I said, I don't know if this is right or not, but we're working on this together. All right, folks, we are cooking with lightning here. Because, you know, it might just burn. That'll set somewhere about there, which means my nose piece will need to set. So pretty much I could always change it later, but I'm gonna go for there, wherever there is. There is that hole. Okay. All right, here, folks. Don't know why I chose to use the longest screws on the planet for this part, but I did. It's fine. Probably should have used the longer ones for the further back. That way they'll be further back away from the nose. I don't think these would be high enough to bother it, though. We can move our ESCA box, you know, our ESC, ESCA. And then we just like the other ones. Put a wrench on, put a wrench on, and tighten it down. We're gonna do what I just said we might do. Oh, look out below! Where did you go? There it is. Oh my gosh. All right, let's find my nuts. From what I could tell, these should go right through the bumper, the lower mount, and the upper mount, and they sure do. And then I can use these short screws for right here. Now let's do the wrenchy wrench. And yes, I turn this way while turning this way. You can make it go a lot quicker. Being slightly ambidextrous does help for certain things. Grab our nose piece again and set our nose piece up here and see where our nose piece is going to line up. Looks like we're going to line up with the middle hole. I just need to take my factory mounts off here, which are, of course, the shock mounts too, so, you know, got that to deal with. Oh yeah, and there's the screw on the backside too. Oh, for sure. There's always something, isn't there? And that's at an angle. And you gotta hope and pray that you don't get more issues with getting this off of here. Still to use a ball, I think, because there's a slight tilt to it, so even with getting this driver at this much of an angle. Factory body mount off. I need to get our shocks back on. For now. We are going to be rebuilding our shocks, so eventually they're going to be coming off anyway. But all we have to do is take the actual mounts off, but we're going to go ahead and put these back in the holes they're going to go in. Yeah, that's way too soft. That's way too soft. This is set up for off-road. This needs to get this and stiff. Let's set that modified nose piece on there again. Middle hole. So this guy is going to go on the middle hole. Yep, that's a 2.5. Nope, not a 2.5. Stinking standard. Who's using standard hardware on here still? Goodness gracious. Seriously? You know what? Something tells me that this is like a standoff to keep this from going in too far. So we're just gonna put it on there anyway. And since I don't have a bit and a body clip fits in there, I'm just using the body clip like a wing nut. McAllister, if you ever see this video, please do us all a favor and put metric hardware in with your stuff. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Every RC citizen. Oh, darn it. Forgot that plastic piece again. Oh, well, I love threading like this. It's wonderful. You know, it's just great. I almost threw it again, too. Did you see that? Sure you did. If you're paying attention, you'll notice all kinds of stuff. All the little mistakes, the nuances that irritate me. Like standard hardware. When standard hasn't been used in how many years? At least 10 that people stopped using standard hardware in their kits. Associated was probably about 8 years ago that they quit doing hodgepodges because they were doing where it was like half standard, half not. Let me guess, these countersunks are some weird size that's not. All right, be prepared to have a couple of countersunks handy like this, because the ones that they give you that are for this are, well, they're standard hardware. So unless you've got standard bits, you need to have something that you can actually use. Not sure what these standoffs that they're using are for, but they do say RPM on them, so whatever they are, they're an RPM part. Yeah, now that's in there. That'll hold the body on. Perfect. Nice. And this does have an offset to it as well, which is kind of cool, so it helps hold that body at an offset. Now, we need to get this mid-mount on here. So our front's done. As you can see there, you can kind of see how it is. That way you can do it on yours. Okay, now we're going to do our mid-mount, which is going to be interesting, considering it just looks like it's going to go right across where my ESC has to go. Let's see if we can find a picture of one of their mid-mounts. So let's just look at this thing and see what we got here, see if we can't figure this out. We've got some more stainless screws. We've got some more miscellaneous plastic parts in a bag with some more hardware that we're not sure if it's standard or metric. Some standoffs, got some buddy stoppers. I know where these are going to go. These are going to go on somewhere. This doesn't match up with any screw holes on this thing at all. Who knew that this was going to be such a headache? Guys, if there's a better mount for the SC6.4 out there than this, please let me know, because especially for the price, I'm not too happy with this thing. It's just one thing after another, it seems like, and it doesn't even have the right hardware. Doesn't even have the right cut of parts for this truck. Like, this is supposed to go here somewhere, yet there's nowhere for it to even go. This looks like the same hoop that's for the Custom Works cars. It has the same hole markings. That's very interesting for the front of the late models. That's funky. Here's one for the B6, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, and 6.4. And it looks like it has a similar midsection, which I think they're about the same width. So let's see, is there a side picture or a better overhead picture that shows where exactly you're mounting this to? There. I never would have thought of that. It's a very interesting location. And it looks like it has to have these standoffs under it. It's a good thing they have other things for other kits. I need to get a new one of these. It's getting rounded. Had that bit for... Here's a proof of sticky case. I've used this as a pry bar. That's why it wobbles. And it's just now getting rounded. And I've had this bit for 6 years now. That should tell you something. Alright, button heads. They're longer than that. That should work. Between the standoffs and the thickness of the carbon fiber. Not sure what these are. Look like they're probably 22 millimeters in length. One is, anyway. There we go. So, we need more of my own screws because they're suck. It's sad that at $75 you can't even get decent hardware at this thing. It's standard hardware and stainless. You'd think they could at least put in black steel that's metric, like everything else that you do on newer RC cars. I just don't understand new companies that still use old-fashioned things. Appreciate that they're made in USA. I just wish they were made in USA with a little more modernity. I think I've got some 2.5s for that. I have left. Yeah, that'll work. These are actually extra 2.5s from the street stock body mounts because they give you extras in the SR10M kit. So I'll use these on here to help hold this in place. Who knew I was going to be making an hour-long video tonight just trying to do this? Or am I at 2 hours now? Am I an hour and a half? I don't know. I've lost track of time. Is this done yet? Now, I'm going to get a standoff under this. What am I doing? Come on now, Jordan. Because if not, you're going to be pushing on that plastic. It's 3D printed? Or they just cut from something else? I don't know. Definitely made to fit a standard screw though, not a 3mm. They're just a touch small. I may have to get that off to do my electronics video for the steering servo, which looks like I most likely will have to get that off of there for the servo, because yeah, it like goes right over the servo mount. But that's okay, that's just 2 screws, so that's fine. Right now we're just trying to get the body mounted. And like I said, this they want you to put here, but the only place that can go is here, and that's just going to make it tall and stupid. And then see, you're just going to make it wide like this, because there's no way to, this is supposed to technically lay back like this and put it from the transmission to back basically where these are at. So we might just have some extra carbon fiber for future projects. As it is, this will go on here like so, except for that won't work. That's good. That needs to be, that nose needs to go forward a little bit. Dang nabbit. This is part of it, guys. When you're building a completely custom rig like this, you gotta expect some things that are gonna be a little more difficult than you wanted them to be. So I need to go forward. Oh, probably a full hole, I'm gonna say. Maybe 2, maybe both of them. Probably just 1, which means I gotta take all 4 of these out and put just these 2 back in this rear mount again. What a fiasco. I should have left it where it was at the first time, huh? And yep, we do need to move forward to the front one. I really wanted to have more than 1 mounting point on here. Guess I'm not going to get that lucky. It's going to make it really fragile. Guess I better just not crash, huh? Hopefully this is a really durable plastic that this is made out of. Now we're going to get this pinned on here real quick. I'm going to do the old mount trick here for the body. Get your blue thread locker. You're going to tip your nose up. You're going to dot a drip right on there like that, and get your nose set. Now it's going to go on the body. Lift up. Have a piece of paper towel handy. Wipe off your body posts. Pull your nose pins out, and now you know right where to drill your holes. We're sitting at 7. Now we're at 7. We're sitting about 6.5 before. All right. We're gonna need that again, so set it to the side. This is when you're gonna bring this over. This one's the one that's a little bit more difficult, because you want to make sure that you're straight. Put a drop on all 4 of your body posts. Try to make sure your wheels are centered as much as possible. I think that's going to be good. So then just lift straight up real quick. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll just give it a wipe off here. That way we don't get thread lock on the top of our body. Just like so. And now we know that we need 7mm holes. If we get big burrs like that, make sure you cut them off before you move on, because you don't want to forget those. They don't do anything, they just look ugly to the body. Alright, so then to mount your body, you just set it on the holes you just drilled out here. Okay, so you put your backs on first, and then you're going to take your nose piece and settle it down on. All right. There's our nose on, and our actual nose pieces. Let's take these little thin guys, and there's our body mounted. So there we go. There is the completed beam or A-mod with the body. Now we'll just need to do the electronics, which will be in the next video. It's clean. It's not going to sit as low once I get the right shock fluid in it too, because it'll sit up where it's supposed to, because right now it's really close to the ground. Alright, so that's it for today's video. We have the body mounted on the A-mod. It looks pretty darn good actually, so once we get the electronics in here, we'll be able to call her done. So that'll be the next video on the SC6.4, will be the electronics and the shock rebuilds, to kind of give you an idea of what I do. I think she's going to do just fine on the track, and looking forward to actually getting her running. Until next time, keep the rubber side down, the shiny side up, and remember to stay in the groove. I'm Jordan Stowell, and this is Combustion RC. Check back every Friday for a new upload. I guess just save your extra parts that you paid for.